have some notes. I know a couple of y'all are driving. Some of you guys are at the builder school right now. So maybe a little information overload for some people, but that's okay. This is recorded. I will put the link to this in the Telegram. But what we're going to do today, guys, is we're just going to overview how you can get from, again, where you are right now to $100,000 a year in annual income, which is $8,000 a month. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that. And then I'm going to show you how you can compress time frames and how it really happens faster than that. So some things that we need to understand first and foremost. So let me share my whiteboard really quick with you guys. And I'm going to type this stuff out so you guys can see it. So this new whiteboard takes forever to load. Sorry. Also try not to like click on your screens and stuff because it will, for whatever reason, go crazy. So, all right. So there's a few things that we need to understand first before we get into everything. So we're going to just highlight some main words. So annual premium. Okay. So there's some of y'all know what this means. Some of y'all have no idea what this means. Annual premium means the annual amount of money that the client is paying for their life insurance policy. Okay. I accidentally clicked off of that. So I'm going to restart that. But it is the annual amount of money that client is paying for their life insurance policy. So the best way to understand what we're going to be talking about is that the annual premium we are assuming for each policy is going to be $1,000. Okay, it's important that you understand that. That also means it's about $84 a month. Okay, so if you're wondering like how much money is the sales to do that? So annual premium, we're assuming it's $1,000. We're assuming it's $84 a month. We are also assuming no splits. Okay, if you don't know what that means, it doesn't matter. But if you do know what that means, we're assuming no splits. And then we're assuming also no other products are sold at all. Meaning no home and auto, no wills, nothing like that. And if you're using Money Sherlock like we are teaching you to use it, you will run into all type. I mean, this last week sold 6 PLPPs in the base shop with 2 people using Money Sherlock. So there will be other sales happening outside of those main things. So we're assuming annual premium. We're assuming annual premium is 1,000. We're assuming no splits. We're also assuming no other products. And we're going to do all of this below RVP. Okay, so we're going to do all of this, and you will not be a regional vice president at any point during the conversation today in terms of your income. So this is all in the base shop, okay? So everybody type base shop in the Zoom chat for me real quick. In the base shop means for like Julio, Elias, a couple of new guys on the call, base shop means the office that you're a part of, okay? Now, our base shop is our office, okay? Your base shop is you and down. It's you and everyone whom you've recruited and you've brought on, whether someone else is training them or not. That's just what that means, okay? So we're going to periodically stop throughout this conversation and ask, like, give you guys a second to ask questions. My goal is to take no more than 40 minutes to get through this today. Okay. And I'm going to be quick and concise. I'm also going to fly through this stuff. And again, it is recorded. But I'm going to give you guys a really basic understanding of the compensation plan. And I'm going to show you guys how to make some money. So does anybody have any questions about the assumptions that we're going off of here? If you do, you can unmute yourself. There's 8 of y'all on. So if you unmute yourself, it's fine. If not, we're going to move on. I'm assuming you all are good. Sweet. All right. So month number 1, you are not licensed. Okay. So month number 1, we are not licensed. I don't know why I unshared that whiteboard. My bad. So unlicensed. Right. So you are, well, that was way bigger than I wanted that to be. Oh my goodness. I'm struggling with this new whiteboard. Is hard for me. I'm sorry. So month 1, unlicensed, right? And the only goal that we have for you in this first month is that we do 5 team recruits. Okay, y'all should be writing this down. 5 team recruits and $5,000 in annual premium, which means we find you 5 clients. Okay, some of you have already been your own first client. That is good. That is a start, right? That moves you in the process. And what happens in month 1? when you do this is you are going to get paid $1,000 in a bonus. Trying to figure out this new whiteboard thing. Okay, so you will make, it's actually going to be $1,250 bonus. And then you're going to have about 2 licenses on average out of that. Okay, so I want you guys to look at month 1. Okay, so this is month 1, not super sexy, right? I think we could all agree that month number 1 right here, you have so far you have made $1,250. You are working anywhere between 5 and 10 hours a week. Okay, so you've made $1,250 and you have 2. We're assuming that you have brought on 5 people, 2 of which are going to be getting licensed sometime in the next month. Okay, now watch this. So we're 30 days in. Okay, you're at 1,250 divided by 40 hours. You have made $31.25 an hour if you want to go hourly. Does it make sense? A lot of people, Julio, will ask me, they're like, Dan, what's the hourly rate? What's the salary, right? Have anybody ever gotten that question before? How much do you get paid? What do I make? If you get 5 recruits and $5,000 in sales, you'll make $1,250. You get a $100 through the licensing course at this time of the recording. If it's not there and you're watching a recording later, I'm sorry. $150 for getting through your license, an additional $100 on top of that, plus your $200 for every 1 recruit and $1,000 in premium. You have made $1,250 and you have 2 teammates. Okay, we are 30 days into the business. Your 30-day into the business venture so far is profitable by $1,250 minus 124. So you are profitable. Your net profit at this point is $1,126. Most businesses in America take 2 to 3 years to become profitable. So your business month 1 is profitable, but that requires you to get licensed. Okay, so that is number 1. We are done with number 1. Great job. All right, so let's go ahead and go to month number 2. I'm going to slide this around a little bit. I'm going to keep that there. I'm going to slide this around a little bit. So we're going to go to month number 2. So in month number 2, we're going to get you on pace for you to do what I personally consider that if you do 3 recruits yourself and $5,000 in sales, that should be the minimum standard that you should be executing at, even part-time. Okay, but we're going to say that your first month licensed, Elias, you're still learning the ropes, right? You're not very good at this thing yet. That's fine. We're going to assume that you're learning everything. Okay, now what we're going to assume on this month is that you do 2 recruits yourself, and you take those 2 people to see 2 people each. Okay, so watch this. Personal. So your personal recruits, you're going to get 2. And then you're going to take each of those people to see 2 each, which we talked about earlier is an average of $1,000 per sale. Right? My son's peeing in a bush right outside my window. That's exciting. So we have two recruits, 2 sales per recruit at $1,000 a piece. That is going to equal a total of $4,000 in annual premium. Okay, now these are personal sales that you have made. Okay, so Elias, these are personal sales that you have made. So $4,000 times 0.6, because that's your contract, is $2,400. Okay, now you're going to multiply that times 0.75, because that is how much money that Primerica will advance you. And that means that so far this month on your part-time business, by you recruiting 2 people, you have made $1,800 in your second month, but we're not done yet. Why? Because you have your team, right? You have team recruits. and sales. And we're going to assume that you are a district leader right now, or a division leader, excuse me, at a 60% contract. And your team recruits, we're going to, outside of you, because remember, we got 5 last month. We're going to assume 2 of those people stick around. And we're going to assume that those 2 people get 3 each. So you're at 6 team sales. And now, Julio, nobody on your team is licensed yet. Now, I know up here, we said that they're going to stick around and they're going to get licensed, but it usually takes about a month for them to get licensed. So they're not licensed yet. And Elias, you got to train them. So you're going to train them. Okay. And of those 3 people, we're going to say each one of those takes you to see 1 person that you close business with. Okay. You have another $3,000 in training premium through your team. And with that, again, it's going to be 3,000 times 0.6. So 3,000 times 0.6 times 0.75 is 900 times 0.75 equals 900. Okay, so you're at another $900. So in month number 2, and I know you guys are all like, this is not super sexy yet, right? Well, remember when we brought you on, Julio, and we did the game plan, it is a 2 to 3 year plan for you to get to 300,000 a year in income, right? We're on month number 2, and now you're at $2,700 again in about 10 hours a week. So let's run the math on that. You're at 2,700 in cash times 0.75. Sorry, 2,700 divided by 40. My bad, I was doing the wrong thing. Now you are at $6,750 an hour in month number 2, assuming you work 10 hours a week. Okay, are you guys following me here? So we're assuming now that through this right here, you did 8 by 7. Okay, so you did 8 by 7. You're a division leader. So this next month, month number 3, we're gonna get you securities license, right? You're gonna get your SIE done and at least scheduled. Okay, so your SIE is now scheduled, and we're gonna hit into month number 3, and we're gonna earn your regional leader promotion. Okay, your regional leader promotion requires you to go 15 by 15, but you now have, starting month number 3. So in month number 3, I have 2 licenses. So on this new whiteboard, guys, sometimes you got to shift around on your screen to like find things. And you also will probably be able to move that around to find the other things. So just try to find where I'm at with month number 3. The recording will show you all of this, so you guys will be able to see it. It's this new whiteboard. I'm not super fond of it, but it is what it is. So we have now 3 licenses on your team, right? You have you and you have 2 other people. So you got 3 licenses. So we'll call that 3 codes. All right, we have 3 codes. And on those 3 codes, what we're going to do, you personally have now skilled up to the point that you do 2 by 5 personal. Okay, so you're 2 by 5. So your 2 recruits, 5,000 in sales. So Elias, your 5,000 in sales that you do yourself times 0.6 times 0.75, that is $2,250 off of your own pen, your own sales. That includes 0 training. That includes 0 field training. That includes no referrals. This is you out there meeting people with your 5 to stay alive, going to networking events, meeting people, doing what you need to do. And this is probably, you're looking at probably 15-ish hours a week, we'll assume, for this one, okay? Because we're really, like, now we've seen it. We understand the compensation plan. You're like, okay, this is better than my current job. I need to get this thing going so I can make some money. All of you will eventually have that point happen where you're like, okay, I got to keep my full-time job to really get to pay my bills right now, but I got to get promoted, right? And that's what we're assuming that this month is right here. This is about 90 days in, 60 to 90 days in, to you making a decision to go and win, okay? So again, we have 3 codes, but we got about 10 to 15 people up in this thing that we've accumulated since we've started. So month number 3, we call a play about recruiting, right? We're going to focus on recruiting. You should never not focus on recruiting. Everybody type recruiting in the Zoom chat. Recruiting is the lifeblood of your business. Art Williams said you got to keep them coming and keep them going. You got to keep new people coming in because old people that don't do anything, they leave. Okay. So you got to keep new people coming in because you're going to get them excited. Right. And so we're going to assume that this month, between you and your 3 codes and your 3 teammates, y'all sitting out here like crazy. You guys are out here you recruit a total of 18 people. Okay. Now you have your 2, and there's 18 outside of you. Okay. We're going to take these 18 people. In our office, we average 0.6. So if we do 10 recruits, we'll do 6,000 in sales. That's the average within our office. Okay. So you need to know that you will eventually learn what that is for you, but just run off of our office average right now. So if we have 18 times 0.6, 10.8. So we're going to say 11,000 in sales. Okay. Now we already did 5,000 ourselves. So we have 11,000 coming from field training, these 18 new recruits. Are you guys with me right now? Or are you lost? If you're confused, please stop me because I don't want you to get lost. So we're going to have $11,000 coming through field training. Okay. Now we're going to assume that you do 5,000. Okay. And then your field trainers do 6,000. Okay, so you do 5,000, your field trainers do 6,000. You are going to get a $1,000 override. Everybody type override in the Zoom chat. This is your first override 3 months into the business. Okay, so you are 3 months in the business and you have now overrode $1,000 in profit to your business, of which Primerica is going to pay you 75% upfront. So you will receive $750 in cash in override, Julio, from business that you did not write. Are you with me here? So you now have made $750 without being there. That is $750 an hour effectively because you do not have to do a dang thing for that to show up. Okay, but now you have another 2,250. Why? Because you did that on your own personal sales and also you did that down here on the field training, right? So you have 750 plus 2250 plus 2250. You are at $5,250 in personal cash flow month number 3. Okay, so $5,250 in personal cash month 3. Is that enough for you to quit your job, those of you with jobs? For some of you, it will be. For some of you, it's not. But you're getting there, right? So we're at 5,250. Again, remember, this is part-time. At this point, you're still part-time. We're going to say you're doing 60 hours a week. So if you're doing, or not a week, excuse me, 60 hours over the course of the month, 15 hours a week, right? Why are we doing more hours this week? Well, because we're making more money, right? So it makes sense to give it a little bit more effort to transition this out of being our part-time thing. So you're at $87.50 in hourly income if we're saying 15 hours a week that you're working. Okay. So far, we started month number 1. We were not licensed at all. Okay. We made $1,250 in our bonus and we got licensed. Month number 2, we did a total of 8 recruits, 2 personal, 6 from the team. And we did we took our 2 recruits to do 4,000 in sales. And we had 3,000 outside of us. We were 8 by 7. You made $2,700 in month number 2. And then in month number 3, you had 3 codes. You did 2 by 5 in personal sales. And then your team did 18 by 6. Okay, why did your team do 18 by 6? Because, Dana, you found a couple people that understand that recruiting is important, right? And so they've started to build a business. So we're going to go to month number 4. Okay, so it's, if those of you that are like dragging the screen around, it's up to the right next to month number 1. Okay, so we're going to go to month number 4. All right, so you are now a regional leader. You're a regional leader, which means you're at a 70% contract. All right. And this is where some of you, I'm going to be honest with you, some of you will mentally check out right now because you're like, I can't think that big right now. I can't, it's just me. I haven't recruited anybody yet. I haven't made any sales. And I'm about to talk about some numbers when you look at the geometric progression that happens within Primerica. When you, as the leader, stay locked in, your team explodes 3 or 4 months from now, right? You have to be willing to sow the seeds for 2 or 3 months and make $1,200, $2,700, $5,250. You have to be willing to make a little bit less money for a minute because you're growing a business, okay? But you're still making money. But we're growing this thing, Julio. Does that make sense? It's not a day one get rich quick lottery ticket. This is a business that you got to build distribution. So you're 3 months into this thing. You're locked into your base shop trainings, which is what we're doing right now. You're showing up. You're excited. You're engaged. You're plugging people into that. That is an attractive environment for people when they're coming in to be plugged into. So check this out, Dana. This is how it works, right? Month number 4, you are still going to do your minimum of personal 2x5. Okay, so you do 2x5 again. We're assuming that is the standard that you're going to hold to. So we're at 5,000 in personal premium at a 70% advance now, not a 60% advance, right? So notice you're making a little bit more money now. You're at a higher contract, and you get a 75% advance on that. So the same work that you personally did last month, Julio, you made 2,250 on. This month you make 2,650 on. Why? Just because you got a promotion, because you went to work and you did the numbers you needed to do to get promoted. So you're at currently, so far, you're at $2,650 in personal cash. Our 4th month in the business, we did 60. Well, actually, our 2nd month, full month in the business, we did 106 recruits. Okay, so we're talking about you in your 4th month. You in your 4th month doing 50 recruits. Now remember, 0.6 of those people are going to get a policy. Okay, so if we do 50 times 0.6, that is 30 individual cases of premium times 1,000. That's $30,000 in sales. Okay, you guys follow me so far? Now, this doesn't mean that all your recruits are going to get premium. Doesn't mean all your recruits are going to buy life insurance. They all don't need to. They all won't, and that's fine. But of the 50, a couple of these people are going to let you take them field training. Now, as you're a regional leader over here, I forgot to tell you this. You have a total of 5 active codes, 5 people doing something. Okay, so of those 5, sorry, of this 30,000 in sales that your base shop is going to do in training, you have 35,000 total because you did 5,000 in your personal, just networking and stuff like that. So you have 30,000 happening outside of you. You, personal, are going to do another 5 of that, of field training. Okay. And so you have another 5,000 in field training premium. So there's another 2,650. All right. And now you're going to have a team of district leaders. So we're assuming all of this is coming through district leaders where there's a 20% override on 25,000. Okay. So you want to know why we recruit people, Elias? Here it is, 25,000 times 0.2. You have $5,000 in pay that's coming to you in what's called override from your team, whom is out here writing business. And also they are making money. So now not only are you excited, but they're excited. Why? Because they're making $2,000 part-time from home when they want to. And you're making, watch this, $5,000 is the override that you make times 0.75. So you make more money off overriding people this month than you do off your own personal sales, not including field training. Your override in month number 4, if you do what I'm telling you to do right now, is $3,750. So we have 2,650 plus 2,650 plus 3,750. You're at 9 grand. You're at $9,000 in cash that you just made. And you're probably at about 20 to 25 hours a week. We'll call it 25 just for the sake of argument. Those of you with the job right now, you don't have to say yes or no. I don't need you to shake your head. I don't need you to put it in the Zoom chat. But if you made 1,200 and then 2,700 the next month and then 5,000 the next month, would you maybe consider, if I could give you an arguable case and lock arms with you, for you to go part-time at your current job and go full-time here for a month? And I could show you exactly how you'd be making 9 or 10 grand a month. Is that something that would be of interest to you? For you to double potentially your income and see what's coming down the pipeline. Listen, this is not me trying to tell you to quit your job right now. This is me telling you, you got to this month go out and get 5 by 5. Are you following me right now? You do 5 by 5 in your first 30 days. You are on pace. Hey, Dan, I'm outside of my first 30 days. It's not 5. I can't go 5 by 5 in my first 30 days. Pretend today's day one and start over. And if you're already licensed, guess what? You're going to make the commission on that. So you're going to make more in the first month. You'll be ahead of everybody else in terms of cash, right? So month number 4, my cash flow total. Okay, so cash total equals $9,050. So 9,050 divided by, we'll say 80 because we work 20 hours a week. Now, Julio, we're at $113.16 an hour. I want you guys to understand what I'm talking about right here. Month number 1, you made $31.25. Month number 2, you made $67.50. Month number 3, you made $87.50 an hour. Month number 4, you made a $113.16 an hour. Y'all are not getting raises like that at your job over the course of your lifetime, let alone in a month, right? How are you making more money? You're better at the business, right? You're more efficient in your time. You've learned the Money Sherlock system. You're plugging into the trainings. Your team is following your lead and you have momentum. Guys, this is what's happening in the Redline organization, which is the fastest to $1 million right now. In cash flow in a 12-month period. Dude, Julio, we are exactly 2 days ago was exactly the halfway point for us to be the fastest team to $1 million ever in Primerica. We have 1,067 days left, not that I'm counting, for us to get to $1 million in a 12-month rolling cash period, for us to beat that record, the all-time Primerica company record that's been around for 47 years. This, if every one of you implement this right now, month 1, and you go 5 by 5, the whole team will get there. Like I promise you, within a year, every one of you will be at 100K. I'm going to show you right now. Our combined, if we take up all 4 of those months, if we take all 4 of those months, we're at a total of 15,820. But what I want you to understand is that in month number 4, you're running your business at a $100,000 a year income pace. Does that make sense? And because you went 50 by 25, guess what? You're a senior regional leader. So now you've got a promotion. So now month number 5 comes along. Month number 5. And in month number 5, you figured out, hey, I'm going to go full time. Okay. So we're going to assume 120 days from now, you are full time. It's safe to say that you should be able to do double what you did part-time if you are full time. If you did 2 by 5 in a 10 to 15 hour work week, assuming you are working 40 hours a week, I think it's safe to say that you're going to do 4 by 10. Can we all agree on that? So you're doing double the production with about 2/3 more time than what you have right now, okay? Type fair in the Zoom chat if that is fair to assume that. If y'all don't think that's fair, I won't assume that. But I'm going to assume that if you're full-time working for your own business, that you would agree with me that that's a fair assumption. All right, so you're full-time. You're out here building your family's business. You do 10,000 in premium at an 80% contract, at a 75% advance, you will make 6,000 in personal cash off your own pen with no field training, no override, nothing. Okay. Now, your team last month did 50 by 30, I think is what it was, 50 by 35. So we're going to just assume that you're going to continue growing. Is that fair? We're going to assume that you're going to keep your pedal to the metal and get your promotion, get yourself to where you need to be. If you, month number 5, and I'm only going to run this through 6 months just for the sake of time, but this should not be outside of the realm of possibility in your brain, guys. I'm telling you. So if you have 50 people in last month plus all the 30 something before that, right, you're going to have probably 20, 30 people that are still left actually doing something. So let's assume Julio, excuse me, that all 30 of those people go out and get 3. That's 90 recruits. And then you got your 10. That's 100 recruits in your team by 60,000 in premium. Okay. Now watch this. Your field training premium. You personally are training some of those recruits that you brought in. We're going to say that you take them on 5,000 in premium. That's it. You only do 5,000 in sales. That's it. So this will be 5,000 times 0.8 times 0.75. So you make 3,000 here. You made 3,000 right here. Okay. Now you have override on 55,000. Let's assume that you've got all division leaders. So you have 55,000 times 0.2, a 20% override again, 11 grand times 0.75. So you make in override $8,250. You make a $100,000 a year run rate income off of override only. That doesn't include any of your own personal sales, Elias. That does not include, Julio, you doing anything yourself. That is all your team. Now you've trained them, right? You're walking them through it. You're working with them on Money Sherlock. Like they're learning the system, they're learning the processes, right? But when you have people and you show them a way to do it, guys, I promise you, the right people will pop up and they will do what you're telling them to do. So if we take 6,000 and we add 3,000 to it, and then we add another 8,250 to that, you in month number 5 have made $17,250. Month 5. Okay, so you're 5 months into your part-time work from home thing. You're 1 month full-time and you're on pace for 200 grand a year. There's a guy named Noah McQueen that literally just did exactly what I'm walking you all through right now. By the way, he's full-time in the Air Force still. For those of you that might be curious, like, oh, well, he's probably been full-time the whole time. No, wrong, not. He's been part-time this entire time. And so I want to unshare my screen and I want to give you guys the opportunity to ask some questions because I could just keep blowing those numbers up and they could keep growing and growing and growing. The reality is at a certain point in time, you're going to go RVP in there as well. You're going to make some money off of that. When you go RVP, watch, this is what's crazy. Let's just go off month number 5's numbers. Right, so you have $55,000 in override. Your minimum override off that, assuming it all comes from senior regional leaders, is a 30% override. So Julio, that 55,000 that you would have made, it turns into, or sorry, that 9,000 that you made in override turns into 16,500. But what we forgot to tell you about was when you're an RVP, your base shop, if you're doing that level of production, will get a 20% bonus times your quality of business. Let's assume that your quality of business is 70%. You're going to go 55,000 times 0.2 is 11 grand times 0.7. You're going to start off the next month as an RVP with a $7,700 bonus to start the month. Dana, that doesn't include not one sale. That's last month's money paying you this month in a bonus to start what would your life look like if you started the month with a $5,000 bonus? Not what did I say, $5,000 bonus. It would change your life, right? This doesn't include stock because the company will pay you stock on everything that just happened in there, all the district leaders you promoted, all the licenses that you got. You're going to make money in that. You're also going to get paid on the investments, assuming your investment license. With all that business, there's wills, there's prepaid legals, there's identity thefts, there's home and auto, there's senior healthcare, all of those other things that we didn't even touch on. And you are, I mean, at this point, you're at 36,000 5 months in, and you've got the momentum. You pass your, we're going to assume 5-6 months, you pass your SIE and you keep your production stagnant. And you're going to go from making $17,000 as a senior regional leader to on the same volume making around $30,000 in cash just by getting an RVP contract. And so now you go from making 200 grand a year to 350,000 a year just by passing a test. That's it. And it's built like it's, well, your business isn't built, but the foundation's built. Right? Like you could not walk away from that and have it be done. It would not keep going. Like you don't have enough stable leadership in there for you to say, I'm done, I'm going on vacation, I'm going into retirement. I'm just keep it real with you. Like you're 6 months in the business. Like you would not, that would not be smart. But if you kept going at that pace for 2 or 3 or 4 years, doing 50 to 100 recruits a month, and doing somewhere between $25,000 and $50,000 in premium, I promise you, you're going to find leaders, you're going to find excited people, you'll promote VPs, and you'll get free. But it doesn't take a long time. You need to be patiently impatient. You should write that down. You need to be patiently impatient in this business, right? You need to be working like a madman. Like it's never going to happen. Like no one on your team is going to do it outside of you. Like never, like you should be working as if you have no team, no recruits, and they're never going to do anything. But then when you bring them in, you equip them, you teach them, you tell them about the meeting times, and you call them and you check on them. But guess what? You still got to go to work. You still got to go set your appointments. You got to run your appointments. You got to get licensed. Because if everything starts with me, it's got to go through me for it to open, right? Like if I never recruited Elion, Julio, you would not be here. It's just the truth. Dana, you would not be here if it wasn't for Arden. Right? And Arden wouldn't be here if I didn't send him a random Facebook message. Not random, by the way, totally on plan. I do it. I have a very solid system that I do there. It wasn't random at all. But random that he ended up on my Facebook, sure. But the message wasn't random. It was going to happen. Right? You just got to have a system and you got to follow that. And you got to sell out to getting 5 recruits and 5 sales this month and locking in. Like that should be your number one focus. If you can get 5 recruits and 5 sales this month, that will start everything for you. Of those 5 people, you're going to have 2 or so left next month. And we work with those 2 to get 3 each. Now you're at 6 or 10 people on your team. And now you're double-digit recruiting. And that's Asad Faraj's famous for saying, you double-digit recruit every month, you'll make 100 grand in a year. But it starts there. It doesn't happen 1 month and you're there. It starts there, and you got to string together some double-digit recruiting months. So I want to open it up for questions. Does anyone have any questions at all for me about that? I know for some of you all, that's like the comp plan, like that's the first time you've gone at all sort of into the weeds with that at all. So maybe a little bit like, okay, I'm not sure what just happened. That's why I'll post a recording. But does anyone have any questions? If not, we'll be done. All right, sweet. Well, hey guys, have an awesome Saturday. I hope you all got some value out of that. If you want to see me work through more stuff like that, I can. Just let me know if you got some value. Go put it in the Zoom chat or the Telegram chat if you guys got value out of that. I just put the Zoom or the YouTube in the Telegram. So for those of you that are like, okay, what the heck is this comp plan all about? Go watch that again if you need.